Welcome to the RTFG Podcast, your chill space at the start of the week. We are your hosts, JP, Freddie B, and Booster the Big Bow. Kick back, relax, and join us as we cover any and all topics. And remember, check your BS at the door.
How y'all doing tonight, good peoples? Hope everybody had a good week. How y'all feeling today?
Relieved, less stress.
Chill to the max, man. Not ready to go to work tomorrow.
Oh, understand that, man.
Boy, I second that notion.
Yeah, man. Like, bro, this week, I ain't ready for boy. I may just take off, man. But, that's besides the point. But I want to welcome everybody to this week's podcast. We're going to be talking about state of gaming. So, first topic I want to ask y'all about. How do y'all feel gaming is compared to how it was in the past?
Well, for me, I feel like gaming is a lot more diluted in the sense of like, if you think about it, back when we were like kids and teenagers, it used to be a bunch of games each year that came out that you was just dying to play. Whereas now it's like you might buy 1 to 2 games a year because most of the time now when these games drop, either it's not good or a ton of issues that come with it makes the game not good.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think we came up in the golden age of gaming when everybody was like real deal getting into it. And now everybody been into it, so it's hard to kind of catch people with a real good game. Because like great games back in the day would just kind of be decent right now. So I think over time our standards for gaming has risen and it's hard to match them right now.
Yeah, I can understand that. I feel like it's one of those things where like how Jay was saying that I do completely understand that and I completely agree that we are in the golden age, or we were in the golden age, because I think it was like a lot easier pretty much to have something innovative and groundbreaking as a game because there was so much potential that was untapped in game creation. We all know like a stint that was like the 2014 stuff like that, where like every game had the same gimmicks. It felt like everybody was kind of riding each other's wave, and even like think about like yearly releases of COD, everybody was like it's just the same stuff over and over again, when in actuality it's always been the same stuff over and over again, just with a different layer of paint on it. But yeah, it has gotten kind of diluted in my opinion. I don't feel like people are really willing to take risks when it comes to making certain games, because before, like I said, and when we were growing up, that there were so many ideas that were untapped that you could pull from. People are more looking to, instead of making really new IPs, they want to make something that they know is going to work or tried and true. You can look at Fortnite, how popular that got, and then the seasonal model and all the stuff that came with Fortnite in the Battle Royale model. Like, you start seeing that flood every new game that came out had to have a Battle Royale. You kind of expected it, Like, personally, that is not my cup of tea, but, to each their own.
I was just thinking that in my head, what you just said. Because, like, for me, when you think about it now, like, Fortnite kind of started it with the whole Battle Royale and seasonal model. I feel like the main issue with a lot of companies now, when they're making games, is that they're trying to make these open world MMO RPG type games that people play like 200, 300, 400 hours on, when not everybody is trying to play a game like that. Like, think about it. You got games like, let's just talk about Division 2. That's a game that came out a few years ago. Division 2, open world MMO RPG type game. Both games came out. Both games had terrible launches. Both games' fan bases tried to stay, and they both ended up withering and die. Whereas you got a single player game like God of War that came out. God of War was game of the year. No major online multiplayer coming with it. No, you have to get this DLC, anything like that. Like, if you can make, I feel like companies' main issue now is that they feel they don't have to make a single player game because it's not going to get the most money out of it. They feel like they have to drop something with a seasonal model because they're trying to squeeze every dollar out of gamers now. And that's what's, for me, is taking a lot of the fun out of gaming. where it's like you have to find a good game that you like and kind of stick with it, because if you're trying to bounce around game to game every year, you're gonna be unsatisfied.
Yeah, that's facts. That's big facts. But you touched on a bunch of important tidbits I actually wanted to focus on. But I do think we can go into the conversation deeper by talking about single player games versus the online MMOs you were talking about. Like you talked about God of War for the single player experience. I'm thinking about Ghost of Tsushima that came out was great. And it got just roses it needed, and also the one that's taking like everybody by storm, especially on social media, which is surprising to me, is Elden Ring. That usually like a Souls-born kind of game doesn't take off that much because it's built intentionally for a niche audience. But I've been seeing people that I've never seen play this kind of game been fawning over it. I think that's great because I'm completely agree with you, Boosie, that it's one of those things where like money kind of draws into innovation in certain things or lack thereof. Because I'm thinking about like the online space with COD, 2K. We were talking about it, earlier this week with GTA. That GTA 5 online has lasted 3 gaming generations at this point. How crazy is that?
Unneeded. They should have nuked it at PS4 or Xbox. Which Xbox we on right now? Series X? I don't know.
Yeah.
X and X shit. But really, like, think about it. GTA has been going on at this point, GTA Online has been going on, 9 years at this point? It came out in 2013 to 2014? 9 years. Let's just say 9 years it's been going on. That funny thing about them is it's been going on for 9 years. You don't have to pay for DLC. You don't have to throw any extra money in. You buy the game, you got what you got. Now, you got this shark card thing that I will say they started pushing heavy, like probably about 4 or 5 years ago. They're really trying, especially like kids and newer players, they're really pushing heavy on shark cards, which for me personally, I don't feel the need to do, but I mean, to each their own. You got a lot of people that feel like it's a need to do it. But I feel like they took, instead of them taking like the whole seasonal model from everybody else, Rockstar just kind of stuck with their gut on, look, we're going to put out 2 to 3 yearly major DLCs. We're going to drop what we drop, and either they're going to keep playing or we're just going to bring in some new people, and they're going to play as well. Because it's like, you got to think, Rockstar, as far as the fantasy of gaming for a lot of younger people and even people our age, you get what you want. Rockstar been putting cards in that game that cost millions and millions of dollars, but they put $100,000 Dodge Charge in the game, and everybody goes crazy.
Talk about it. Look, the few moments they do be dropping some, like when they drop the Hellcat and the Hellcat Charger. Hey man, they did that for the streets. Yeah. Everybody was there for that.
Oh yeah, for sure. They did it for the streets. They did it for me because I sure enough bought me a few of them.
Yeah. And I just think it was also one of those interesting things. Like, I mean, I understand like the whole sentiment. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But I'd be feeling personally like, man, when is GTA 6 gonna come out? And I think I was talking to Jay a little bit earlier this week about it. I was like, man, like I would hate it as much as we have played GTA over the life of this game, that if GTA 6 drop and it flop, or it's just not what we were hoping it to be, which I doubt it would be like that. Because, I mean, yeah, Rockstar won his money, but I feel like Rockstar actually be giving us something that's worth it at the end of the day.
I'm still waiting on Midnight Tokyo a game by itself, my boy. I've been waiting for Rockstar.
Oh God, you saying something else? I need some Midnight Club in my life. But look, let me stay on topic with my tens real quick. So look, I feel like, and this could be a hot take, and this could just be a personal viewpoint of my own, I don't think GTA 6 is going to be that good.
Yeah, so that was a parallel between me and Montez's conversation. GTA Online is such a good game right now. Anything they follow up with will not match its hype off release. It's just impossible.
Because this is what you got to remember. Like, all of the stuff we have now, like the businesses, the CEO office, all the cars, the garages, all the clothes, you had none of that when this game came out. You had bare bones. You do missions, you rob stores,
and even at that moment, it was groundbreaking compared to GTA Liberty City and all the Lost in the Dam, because then you spawn as a random character, you just ran around collecting weapons.
Yeah, and see, like, the thing with it now is like, this is what you got to remember, and just think about this as a gamer right now. As far as GTA is considered, what more could they throw in the game that you would consider groundbreaking? Just take a second to think on that. Like, what can they really throw in at this game and how it's built currently? What could they throw in that would you be like, oh my God, this is such a
you can sell your properties back. I'm not gonna lie, I got my 2 of them. I need, you know,
of course
you can sell them back because my lights keep get turned off. You know.
Hey man, if they'll let me see it, if they'll give me $6 million for this $10 million yacht I got. Just give me 6. You can hook it to a tow truck tonight.
hey, just for the audience, listen, we're gonna draw our credentials out there. We just so y'all know we know what we talking about. The 3 of us, we've been playing GTA 5 since that came out. When you was out here, like I said, robbing stores, thinking that was big money, and spawning under random street lights every time you logged in.
It was hard times right there. When your partners got a house and they see you spawning on the street like they don't need a couch to sleep on, it was hard times.
Yeah, like I said, we came in from the very beginning. We've been playing it through all these updates over the course of years. Like, we came from nothing. We did the criminal mastermind with the 3 of us. And, we just out here living our life because we got everything. We've done everything. We just playing for fun. We ain't playing, just because we have to. But I also agree, it's just one of those things, man. Like, I don't really have to answer myself what I would feel would be groundbreaking. The only thing I would say, would be like another map, but that would probably warrant having another game versus just DLC at that point. As much effort it would take to probably make that. Because I know, like, there's some off-map, like, items, like, with North Yankton and stuff like that. But, that would be cool, I guess. But I don't know about groundbreaking.
But even with a new map, it's like, you would have to go through the whole licensing process of dealing with a city in order to take the likeness of that city in order to create a game. Mm-hmm. Now, I feel like what Rockstar is going to do, I feel like, because players have been asking for it so much, and which I hope they do anyway, is that they're gonna do a newer version of Vice City.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But still, I agree. Those are great points about again, like, just things like open multiplayer games and stuff like that. But I would say, like, how y'all been feeling about the single player experiences that's been released lately? Cause I know I had mentioned, Boosie had mentioned God of War. I mentioned Ghost of Tsushima. We talked about Elden Ring. How y'all been feeling about that? If y'all been taking part of any of it or seeing any of it?
Horizon Forbidden West the game looks great. Now, me personally, I haven't played it. I'm thinking about buying it, but just looking at it looks like a great game. Now, the thing is with me when it comes to single player games is like I want to play more single player games, but the issue is like you only have like probably like 1 to 3 of them each year that come out that are actually really good. Because most of the time they drop now, and you have a lot of technical issues. Like, what was that game that dropped a couple years ago?
What, Fallout 76?
Nah, not Fallout. It was like the little futuristic game.
Oh, Anthem.
Nah, not the dumpster fire that Anthem is.
My bad. That's multiplayer. That's my bad.
Yes, Cyberpunk. That game had one of the worst launches that I have ever seen.
Yeah, everybody was so hyped.
Keanu Reeves in that.
It like,
oh yeah,
yes, Keanu Reeves is what sold that game, honestly. But like, I don't know if y'all seen as much as I did, bro. That game had some of the wildest glitches that I have ever seen. It literally had game-breaking glitches. Like, to the point of where you cannot complete the game because the game will not let you. That's how bad the glitches were.
Yeah. I will say, like, Cyberpunk was also one of those things, like how people be talking about Ubisoft, that you see what they release and it's going to be downgraded. Everybody had high hopes for Cyberpunk, but like when you actually just saw the product, man, it was heartbreaking, man. Because it had so much potential, but like I know what people are talking about. Oh, this update, it's actually making the game playable. I understand what you're saying, but that's not good. That
And that's
however
my
much
whole
months.
issue with a lot of new games, bro. Like, I shouldn't have to sit up here and wait after launch in order for the game to work the way it was intended when I bought it.
Hey, that's facts. Because I think that's one of the things though when it comes to game developers, or at least like the people who are producing, like like the Activisions of the world, that they be putting, in my opinion, some unreasonable strain on their game studios. Because I think it was a Santa Monica studio that did God of War. I was happy. There was like, hey, look, the game is going to come out when it's finished. No time earlier than that. I can respect that, because think about how much of the greatness of God of War would have got diluted if it had like a horrible launch or was buggy as everything. And don't get me wrong, it has some, issues. Every game may have issues made by people. But, you don't want that to be the driving part of the narrative about your product.
Yeah. So when looking at single player games, they're more focused on story. So they focus on the story that engages the player. They want them to play it more than one time, but it also can be a downfall, because a lot of single player games, after one run through, you feel like you completed the whole game. Mm-hmm. There's no reason to touch it again. So that's what's so enamoring about Elden Ring. It's open world, and you just basically going out there and destroying monsters, but you can, gain power. So I played the original Dark Souls on Xbox 360. I ain't never make it past the second boss. I wasn't that good. I ain't gonna lie.
I played Dark Souls 3. I played Dark Souls 3.
I did a good Bloodborne for, past, like, I forgot the name of the boss, but like I got stuck at a dude on a tower with a machine gun. I ain't know where to go. Turned that game off, gave it a good break, never came back.
See, it's a linear storyline, so Elden Ring allows the player, okay, this boss too hard. Let me go grind on these weaker bosses and come back and fight you. I got something for you then. But that's unlike, the original Dark Souls or Bloodborne. So Elden Ring, that's why it's on fire right now. It's an open world game where you can take on massive challenges and rank up to take on the massive challenge.
Also, too, there's different ways to play it. So you could do you could do one walkthrough, like an entire walkthrough, beat the game as a mage, and it plays completely different as you go through. You do another walkthrough as, say, a melee character. Like, I've sat up here and seen people do it. Like, it's two completely different play styles, but it's pretty much like this right here. It shows that it's multiple ways to beat the game. It's not one like, oh, you have to be this character if you plan on beating the game and yada yada. Because you got to think about it. Most games now is like every game has a meta as to what you should use. So with Elden Ring, I think what's the cool thing is that you have more versatile.
And I also think like a big part of the replayability factor of Elden Ring right now is that I don't know how much y'all be seeing things on like social media. Like I be seeing so many posts about it, but every week it's always somebody finding out something different about the game. Like it's gonna sound really stupid when I say this, but somebody found out some of these like mimic walls or fake walls that they have in the game that's been historically in all these Dark Souls franchise or Bloodborne kind of franchises that you smack them, it opens up an area you ain't seen before. Somebody found out, there's this wall that it only opens after you hit it 50 times. And I, me as a gamer was like, sir, what are you smoking that you was up here smacking a wall for 50 times to figure this out? Because there's no normal way you just playing the game and figure that out normally.
Yeah, if I run into it, they stop me. I'm going to hit it one time, turn around if I can't go.
Exactly. But now the thing is, though, it has made this whole wave of like, oh, crap. How many walls have we missed that you had to hit it multiple times to open up? So there's going to be like probably years of content of people trying to find all the secrets this game got to hold.
You want to know what's going to be scary? When they mess around and punch a floor.
Hey, that's true. There actually is one. I think I saw one. There was a hidden path underground. That was actually the floor. And somebody was like, I don't know how they found it, but that was crazy. But, continuing with the conversation about single player versus online player, a big thing that has been kind of popping up in the recent years of gaming has been, seasonal models. We had talked about it a little bit earlier in this conversation. How do y'all feel about seasonal models as a whole? Yay, nay?
I'm not a fan if I have to pay for the game. If it's free to play, I'm fine with it. But if I drop $60 for a game, I don't want to see a seasonal model anywhere close to it.
This is where we're gonna vary on opinion right here. I don't mind the seasonal model as long as it's not something that feels pay to win. Like, I have to have this in order to be able to complete the game or be good at the game or something like that right there. Because, like, that's why I was, like, me and Jay had a conversation about a week and a half ago. We were talking about the Destiny 2 seasonal format. Like, look, I love the way Bungie does their seasonal format for the simple fact of it's not something you have to have. It's pretty much an extra caveat on the top. Like, if you want some extra loot or you want to play an extra activity, do a little extra exotic mission, cool, you can do that. But it's not something you have to have. You got a lot of free-to-play players. Well, I mean, you know, I get it if you don't want to spend any extra money, you don't have the extra money to spend. I completely get that. But one thing about the way that Bungie does their season models, anything that they throw out as far as exotics or anything in the seasonal model, you're going to get one exotic free anyway, just from playing the game. You're just going to get it a little bit later than the people who pay.
What is a little bit later? That's my question.
And then that little bit later, as far as playing, will probably be like a couple days, like 3-4 days, if that.
Well, I'll add on top of that, it's kind of subjective, Jay. So it's like if you don't play much, it's gonna take you longer than somebody who's playing. But the XP game will be the same. So it's really based on your seasonal level.
The XP games are not the same. The XP games, you get XP bonuses from the season pass. So that's why I said instead of, because like as a person who's paying for it, you're gonna get it instantly anyway, and you'll probably get the second one within that same day. But as far as a free to play player, that's what I said. You'll probably get it within a few days if you actually playing the game. It'll probably take you probably about 3 or 4 days, just because the way that the XP games are set up. But the main reason I like Bungie format is because you pay $10 for that season pass. That season pass is for 3 months, but you get a lot of content that comes with it for those 3 months. You get, because usually you're gonna get an exotic mission to do. You're gonna get a seasonal activity, which is gonna come with its own set of armor, 4, 5, 6 guns. You get a boatload of materials and stuff off the season pass, cosmetics, and all that, and you get some as a free-to-play player, but you get more as
okay, let's shift from Bungie to Call of Duty Modern Warfare. That's the last one I truly played. Because on Bungie, they shifted from a a game you paid for, to a free-to-play model. So that's why it works for them now. But if you go focus on Call of Duty Modern Warfare, you drop $60. You get online, you see, oh, it's a season pass. You just drop $60. So they want you to drop 14 more to get some COD points so you can buy this season pass. That, like, essentially gives you some of the best weapons in the game immediately. So that is what I have an issue with.
Because I mean, yeah, cause we can act like, you know, when these new guns was coming out, I'm thinking like from a few times I was playing that when that AMAX came out, how destructive that was.
Yeah,
y'all didn't even get to fully experience the destructive that was the CR-56 AMAX at the time. Boy, look, let me tell you, I was touching folks at 75 meters on the AR.
It was certain attachments for the M4 where when you shoot it, it's laser point accurate. It didn't move an inch. It would take you out in a couple seconds. I remember that. That was terrible.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, those same attachments
you had to grind, but grinding out those attachments require you doing, just being honest with you, dumb things.
But no, real talk. That was for the special attachments that they threw in the game. You had to do that stuff. But a lot of them attachments in the game that made the guns great, you just had to use the gun. That Uzi, the attachment, because I know which ones you're talking about, that because I ended up buying that blueprint. I appreciate it.
You see, you bought it, but I grinded and I couldn't get that.
But the thing is, and I didn't like how they did it because it's a lot. It's because they did it on the Uzi and they did it on like 2 other guns where they put those secret attachments in. You had to do some of the dumbest stuff trying to get them. I wasn't finna do that. So when they did throw those blueprints in our card, that kind of threw me for the loop because I know Jay was using a gun. I just bought the blueprint that had the one main attachment I needed on the call of the day. But you know, I got the card points for it from the season pass.
After a month, they dropped the blueprint, and within 20 minutes, 2,000 people to pass me in my grinding. So yeah, they ain't locked it behind a paywall. They locked it behind a difficulty wall. Like, you got to do this dumb thing to get this, and it's pretty much gonna be impossible in a regular game unless you just don't care about your KD ratio. You fine with dying 16 times to get 3 kills.
Yeah, and as gamers, most of us aren't cool.
Yeah,
because I can personally tell you I wasn't about to do that. Yeah. But COD.
Yeah, I feel like from my point of view on this, it's kind of like in between both of y'all points. I personally don't feel that all these games coming out should be having seasonal pass models. Like, if you have a free-to-play game like Fortnite, Warframe, and such, I'm actually fine with you having it, because, I mean, the developers have to make money somehow because you're not making money off the initial sale of the game. Cool. But, like I said, I play Destiny big time, so I'm cool with the seasonal model because I really enjoy the game. If you enjoy the game a lot, you're willing to spend more money on it. I mean, there's also, the cosmetics and everything that come into it as well that you may spend money on it. And, that's cool. I have no problem with that. Yeah, the drip, man. That's real. That's real in game. Everybody know that. But at the end of the day, I think for me, the sweet spot is that your season pass shouldn't be pay to win, like Boosie said, but it should respect your time as well. Because what these game developers and companies will do is just like, well, like how COD do, like, well, they'll have their hands up in the air when people get mad. Like, well, we didn't make you pay for it. This is completely optional. But it's like the lawyer way of talking, where it's like, yeah, it was optional, but you're putting me against people that paid the money, have the best stuff in the game off rip, like the blueprint may just have that already ready to go, and I'm having to fight against that with weapons with no attachment. Because, I mean, I'm sure y'all remember y'all first days in Modern Warfare, that, like, if you came, because we all came in late, so us having like an M4, which at that time was the best gun in the game, but having an M4 stock versus having an M4 fully maxed out with all the attachments was 2 different guns. And you could feel that. So I call BS on that, because it's like, yeah, you may not be putting the decision in our faces like, oh, you should get this, but you're kind of coercing us too, because it's like, yeah, you could do it, but it's also like, you're going to be at a disadvantage if you don't. It's almost kind of one of those things. I know it's like I'm about to talk about 2K, but it's not really a seasonal model with 2K. But I still consider the whole VC thing, where it's kind of that same
2K
idea.
2K got seasons too. 2K
got
seasons too now. Yes, 2K has seasons now.
Wow. I was about to just say, because like that whole mentality about like, oh, it's just your choice to spend money on VC. We're not forcing you. But who wants to go on to the park as a, 65, 70 overall brown shirt? Against somebody who was it? Like, it was like 85 last time I played 2K online. Like, if you put all your money and maxed out your bill, it was like 85 before you actually had to start going again. Nobody was going to play with you if you was 65, 70 brown shirt on the park. So it's like, yeah, it's an option, but it really isn't an option.
Hold up. Before we go back to 2K, look. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna speak a little bit more about Jay and that Uzi. And the main reason I agree with him was on this. That one attachment on that Uzi on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 19 made that gun go from being in the bottom half to arguably top 5, top 3 guns in the game, depending on how you use it. Like, that one attachment that you set up in, you got people like Jay grinding.
It was like a diamond in the rough. I put my soul in that gun, and I seen the greatness in it. I seen it, and before I can get to it, they gave it away. They gave my gun. Like,
yeah, like pretty much. Like I remember it because I ended up using my COD points I had got off the season pass. They were selling them for like 800 COD points, which in just regular numerical value, somewhere about $10, $10, $15. Let's say that. Like, bruh, it turned that gun bananas. But if you got somebody who don't want to spend money on the game, which for me personally, outside of Destiny, I don't really spend too much money on games because you don't have me hooked enough in order to warrant me spending my fine dollars on it. But that one attachment just made that gun. It gave that pay to win aspect. Like, if you want to use this to the top of its peak performance, you're gonna have to drop that bread because you're trying to do it the regular way. It's gonna take you too long.
Yeah,
And that's like COD is just. That's the main reason they're in the gutter now. Continue.
Yeah, and that's like I said. That's why I was just saying that my point is that I feel like a seasonal model, it should respect everybody's time. Because again, how Jay was saying, he's sinking his life and soul into this gun just for it to be given away and stuff like that. It could be, that's problematic at times, especially if it's going to be that dominant, So I completely agree. But I think, a quick aside about pretty much seasonal models is, even though it's not technically a seasonal model, I do think subscriptions could be, interesting to talk about. Because, like, how do y'all feel about things like Xbox Game Pass and pretty much the future that holds for gaming?
I think Xbox Game Pass was probably the best thing that came out of the last gen console.
So, to me, it's a riff on GameFly. You pay a subscription service to play a catalog of games. You see what I'm saying? So it's great that they did it, and I think it's the best thing on Xbox.
Right, it's a more convenient GameFly.
Yeah, it is, because you at that point, as soon as you click it, it's downloaded, you can play it.
Mm-hmm. And then you don't sit up here. You're not waiting for the game to get mailed. It's a more convenient GameFly. But the main reason I say it's the greatest thing that came from last gen is for the simple fact of is when you have casual gamers where they don't know what to buy as far as games, they don't know what they're gonna like or dislike. You got a lot of new gamers too, especially kids. You don't know what they're gonna like or dislike. I feel like Game Pass, it gives you a easy entryway into finding out what you like as a gamer, and then you can go forward with there. Because you have the PlayStation Now thing is bogus as hell. Let's just go ahead and say that PlayStation Now is bogus. I dang near got office internet. I'm running 900 megabytes per second internet, and even if I sit up here and try to stream a game off of PlayStation Now, it's gonna lag.
Yeah,
nobody
wants
to deal with it.
I'll say though that I completely agree with the whole how easy it is for the casual gamer to get into it. Because I mean, even though I primarily play on PS4 and I would be PS5, but these scalpers out here something crazy.
I'm a cop of 2023.
But,
Hey, we're gonna talk later. Listen, check me out. I got us a deal later on. We're gonna talk on podcast.
But I would say though, if anybody came to me today,
$600.
Man, chill out with that X cap. But if anybody came to me today and asked me, what system would you recommend me get my child or somebody who's brand new to gaming? As much as I love my PlayStation 4 and probably PS5 would be good too, I would not recommend those two things. I would say get you an Xbox Series, whatever, and get the Xbox Game Pass and go from there. Because that is the most bang for your buck in that package.
With an external hard drive, that is the best bang for your buck. If you just want to play casually gaming, that is the best bang for your buck.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that's what Microsoft is doing to kind of corner the market on Sony on that one. Because again, everybody jokes and memes on Microsoft because y'all don't have no exclusives that people really want. True. But again, like he said, till Sony releases a game, something that's comparable to Game Pass and has all these PlayStation exclusives on it, people, like I said, are going to be leaning toward Microsoft products just for having, Game Pass. And then even going a step further, you don't even need to have the Xbox. If you have a Windows or a computer that runs Windows, you have access to the Game Pass too. So you don't even need the system, which can make the barrier to entry even lower.
Yeah, because I can get it on my PC.
Yeah, same here.
So Microsoft response to us, we don't have what you call them, Montez?
What do you mean? I'm sorry. Oh, like having IPs.
You don't have
exclusives.
Guess what? We just caught Activision. We just bought Bethesda. Keep talking. We'll make them exclusive. There's Microsoft right now.
Like I said,
pretty much.
I hope they do. But like I said, time will tell because the things they've had in their back pocket as of yet, they've done not much with.
But that's also the issue with Microsoft. It's like this. They're acquiring all of these companies, but what are you going to do with them? What's going to make Microsoft stand out from Sony? Because this is what you got to think about. Game Pass has been active, 4 or 5 years at this point?
I think so.
I think
it's been active 4. I know 4 years at least. I know. I know 4 years at least. But think about this. Game Pass been active 4 years, but you still losing out on the console sale numbers.
So
yes.
So they losing out on console sales basically due to what is shown on paper. That's all. Just me as a gamer. The PS5.
But on paper,
just like graphically and all that, you can watch reviews saying, "All right, PlayStation 5 better than the newest Xbox Series X." But Microsoft is trying to capitalize.
No, I'm saying like if you look at the paper stats of each console, Microsoft console honestly is blowing PlayStation out of the water. If you just look at
in reviews, let's focus on that.
But as far as
reviews,
I give you that. But reviews when you get people who get reviews, you got to think about it. Most of these Xbox sales is either going to people that swear to God that Xbox players through or Xboxes are being sold to keep.
So what's annoying about the PlayStation 5 side of things? I'm going to PS5 because they got exclusives. The PlayStation 4 still got a bigger catalog than PS5, so that's not a good reason to go to the PS5 right now.
Yeah, but that's also kind of the issue with every game. I mean, every game when they come, or every game system when it comes to the end of its lifespan. Like the same thing happened with. Yeah.
What I was about to say was every next gen console, those first like 2 to 3 years, most of the time players are going to be playing the same games they were playing on last gen, just with graphics upgrades. Like think about it now. The same people who played GTA 5 on PS4 are going to be playing GTA 5 on PS5.
Man, that hurt to hear.
The graphics. That hurt to hear.
Yeah.
And nah, listen. This is the sad thing. Like me personally, one of the main constructs of me not really pushing to get a PlayStation 5 is like, if I get a PlayStation 5, the only thing I'm going to be doing is playing Destiny 2 on a newer console at 60 frames per second. There has not been one PS5 game that has come out where I'm like, ooh, I need to go ahead and upgrade my console. Because think about it, even when we can talk about a PlayStation exclusive. When Spider-Man Miles Morales came out, game looked great, but it still had bugs even on the next-gen console. So if I'm going to have bugs on the next-gen console, I'm probably going to have the same bugs on the console I got. So why am I going to spend $6,000, $8,000, $1,000 on the console to have the same issue?
Yeah, that's facts. Yeah, just for me, though.
Every next-gen console has issues when it comes out. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I said, just for me, it's like I said, I'm completely in Boosie boat. Like I said, there's nothing coming out on next gen consoles as of yet that makes me push to be like wanting to overspend to get a console right now. But again, it happens every time a new system comes out. Like back when the PS4 first came out, it was the same thing. It's just part of it. I just be trying to tell people like, look, man, I understand it's always cool having the biggest, newest system on the market, but like just give yourself some time, man, because you're going to be mad if you out here get the first generation of it. And then if PS5 does the same thing the PS4 do, it come out with like a Slim or a PS5 Pro or something like that, you're going to end up spending more money, upgrading when you could have just waited, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He done spent $800 on a PlayStation 5 to still get whooped 21-3 and 2K on the court. Go home, bro.
But now I saw that score in 4K 60 frames per second.
But a slim hope of mine for the next gen consoles is they'll have more local co-op games, because that's something this current gen did not have in spades, was co-op games.
Yeah, that is true. That was kind of one of those things where it was like there was a good minute, like I can't remember the game, but it's like if you didn't have internet connection, you couldn't even get on the game. And I was like, what is this?
That was Modern Warfare.
Destiny used to be like that.
Oh, yeah, that was.
Destiny was like that.
Destiny, Modern Warfare.
Might still be, but I didn't.
And I'm thinking about it now
because the whole issue we was talking about earlier, like the whole like the online versus the online like MMO open world games versus single player games. Like, bro, what they gotta understand is like not everybody just want to play with the world at times. Like sometimes you just want to be able to get your buddies together and y'all do this. Like that's the one cool thing I will say about Destiny. Even though you need internet to do it, you got private matches.
But you still require
me and my buddies
a separate console. You see what I'm saying? If you could play Destiny on the same console, just with a different controller, split screen, 4 screen, that's what I miss.
Yeah, That's facts. That's big facts.
You know, Nintendo got it on lock
like
right
the main
now.
reason they don't.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, they do. They really. But I feel like the main reason companies don't be pushing to do like the split screen co-op is because you got everybody just saying how they just want to play online 24/7. But I feel like with a lot of games now, you have to be able to appeal back to the old roots of what gaming used to be. Like, think about it like back, JB, you could talk about it when we was in high school, bro. Co-op, sit up there, split screen, playing.
The original Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 had co-op, split screen, and you will have some of the funnest missions playing with the person right next to you. Just have the funnest time doing it. And I missed it, and it got probably a handful of games to still give that experience to the players. And when you read a IGN review, anything, they say, okay, the gaming community doesn't want this, but guess what? The developers are not giving us a chance to experience it anymore. So that's my issue with it.
Yeah, cause I think like was the most recent COD. I don't know if it was the most recent COD. One of the CODs had it where they just took the campaign out of it, right?
Yeah.
And I was like,
Call
personally,
of Duty Black Ops 4.
Yeah, appreciate it. And I was just like, why would you do that? Because I mean, for me, campaign being some of the best, parts of COD. Because we can't act like Modern Warfare campaign wasn't godly. Even though it was pretty much. Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to say Mirage.
Yeah, because I mean, everybody had, MW2 memories if you played during that time, that no Russian mission. That was definitely one that made you, like, everybody remembers that. I mean, nobody talks about, that probably may have been the start of us being desensitized to certain things. And we can't act like Modern Warfare 2019 was not the war crime simulator. We still was smiling ear to ear playing through that. But, I digress.
Sure was. But look, check it out, though. The thing is, and I know this is a side topic, the thing about that controversial no Russian mission for Modern Warfare 2 that was so crazy and that should make a lot of gamers think if you never saw the video, you could have went throughout that entire mission without firing one bullet.
Facts.
And you had a lot of people that could have went through there and not fired bullets. And then you had people like me that was trying to outrun the AI to shoot the people before they got to me.
Hey man, look. Like I said, that whole section was like a masterclass in psychology, bro.
But man, if you just think about it, bro, as far as gaming and how great COD used to be when we were kids, just delving back to the whole topic of just talking about the changes in gaming. Think about the fall of Call of Duty from the good graces that it used to be in the mid to late 2000s and even the early 2010s. Think about the fall from COD was one of them things where you talked about COD every day in school. You were playing it almost every day. You wanted to hop on. You wanted to hop on. You wanted to try to get better. You wanted to have fun. Whereas you got COD now, bro. I can just tell you from a bunch of streamers that I watch. It's a lot of people where they only really streaming COD just because it gets a check.
Yeah.
And they're not really even playing the multiplayer. They're only playing Warzone because they have made the base multiplayer experience so chaotic that it's just running people away.
But Boo said that was a great point. But I think that also going to really transition nicely to the last point I want to talk to y'all about. It's going to be a hot take, so, lock in if you ain't locked in already. Then we're going to get my speaking voice together. How much of the current situation of gaming do you think we as gamers are responsible for?
Jay, you go first. It's coming in hot.
I don't feel like, as a used to be hardcore gamer, I'm too much responsible for. So a good metaphor would be like the cars, like car dealerships. They saying the average American wants a luxury car when it's not the case, because I can't help you put in leather interior and Apple CarPlay. I don't need that, but that's the cheapest entry point for me. And that's what these game developers doing. We gonna give you all this even though I don't even need it. So, you know what I'm saying? That's just my point.
Montez, you want to go or you want me to go?
Man, I'll go ahead and throw my 2 cents out there, because I feel like you gearing up to drop a bombshell.
Drop it, Freddie B.
I personally feel that we're not fully responsible, but us as a whole, as gamers, we do not know what we want. We cannot come together on the same tip about anything when it comes to our favorite games. And it sometimes leads to the downfall of our games. In my opinion, COD. Me and Boosie used to play Division 2, even though we liked Division 2. Division 1 got ruined by people not agreeing that it came out marketed as a co-op game. And then it was like, well, I don't have people to play with. Me personally, I'd be like, there's LFGs out here, go find people to play with. But because you wanted to cater to a certain group demographic of people, the game got way too easy. Killed and like along with all the hacking and stuff like that, again, part of the gaming community, because that's a personal decision to be out here hacking. You don't have to do that. I don't know what you're getting out of it, but people do it. But ran that game into the ground. And I feel like it's one of those things that, like, we as people, because everybody has their own decisions to make when it comes to gaming, but again, when we all decide that, let's just say a certain kind of treatment is okay, these companies, like I say, as long as that check is coming in, they have no reason to change. That's the main reason, like, I was laughing with y'all earlier this week about it, was that y'all was giving me flack for wanting NBA Live to come back. Only reason I want NBA Live to come back and be good was just so 2K has competition. Because we've seen what happens when you have a game with no competition that completely corners the market. They do whatever they want. And me personally, I stopped playing 2K just because I didn't like how 2K was doing business. I didn't feel like you should be spending as much money just to play your game efficiently. But there's people out here that will live and die by 2K and everything that's about it. And I mean, that's you. Do you? But I'm just saying, though, how much better could it be if they had the drive to be better and release a better product year after year?
Great point.
Great points. All right, coming in hot. Because, see, y'all have made y'all points. And I'm finna make mine. I think we as gamers are 100% to blame for the state of the gaming community today. And I'm going to tell you why. You got three demographic of gamers. You have the casual gamers that play, let's just say, 2 to 4 days out of the week. Little Travis can't put in as much time as Big Todd over here that's playing 5 to 7 days a week. So little Timmy feels that he should have what Big Todd got. So little Timmy goes crying to his buddies, and little Timmy and his buddies go to John the Big Boss crying about Todd, and now they done made the game work for little Timmy. And all you end up doing is that you make the game so easy that the hardcore people that's going to end up putting in the money, the time, and actually sticking with you are going to leave. And then the little Timmys, when they get bored, after they done set up and you done made the game so easy, they going to leave after a couple days, and you end up taking the community out. That's exactly what ended up happening to the Division, catering to them doggone little Timmys and them casuals. Now, let's delve on to the Todds of the world. You got the hardcore gamers. Their whole issue is that because they have grinded so hard to get what they want, they don't want any little changes to help affect little Timmy. Now, me, I could kind of put myself in the middle of those two. I don't game as hard as I used to because I work now. I'm a whole adult. But I still put in a good amount of time. But the balance between those two is you have to be able to make a game now where if you put in a lot of time, you're rewarded. But you can't make the game so easy that anybody can come in here and get whatever they want, because you at that point it creates no substance to what you got as a game. All you're going to end up doing is that after 2 to 3 months, you're going to run everybody off because they got whatever they wanted or they got whatever they felt like they could get out the game, and they leave. And then the hardcores who love you and want to stick by you, you have made the game so easy that you done tick them off that they leave. Now, that's 2 different graphics. I hope you're keeping up with me now. Now, let's get to the third. The third are the streamers, whether it's YouTube or Twitch. Because all they end up doing is that they pick a side between those two and they fully commit. They never try to bridge the gap because all they want to do is whoever the people that's donating the most money or giving them all of they happy comments and stuff, They want to cater to them. You don't have a lot of YouTubers now that are willing to take a leap of faith and try to bridge the gap between those two. They always picking a side. But also, too, another issue that I have with a lot of YouTubers and streamers is that whenever there's a lot of groundbreaking glitches, instead of going to whatever game that they're playing, whether it be COD or Destiny, trying to go to the developers, try to get it hashed out, they sit up here, they trying to make a video and show, oh, you do this right here to make yourself invincible, or you sit up here and you do this and you can kill everybody and they can't shoot you back, or you sit up here and you hide in this place, you can shoot them or they can't shoot you, or something of that nature. Pretty much something so groundbreaking that you can't fight against. Or it could be something whereas in some games where you can sit up here and you can have infinite ammo or something like that of that nature. And you just sit up here, instead of trying to get it hashed out so it doesn't sit up here and make the game worse, you sit up here and you trying to put out a video trying to become the next Astacross or the next PewDiePie, whoever you want to put up there.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop in real quick and cause bro, you up here spitting right now. We have to understand that we as gamers, it's okay to just have fun in games. You do not have to be the next Aztec Cross or whoever you watch. You don't have to be FaZe out here. It's okay to have fun, because at least me, I said I'm well aware of what meta is in some of these games. I choose to actively not do it because that is fun to me. It's not fun pub stomping whether you're using the best things, in my opinion. But some people get off on that and thinks that, you're just going to, make it grow 2 inches taller the next day because you up here dropped a 60 bomb using the best, most broken things in the games against people who may or not had it or just ain't that good. We have to be okay with, like I said, it's okay to just have fun. And also, Boosie, we had a conversation about this a long time ago. We do have to also understand that gamers nowadays just better. But yes, just because we better, bro, I feel like, going to your point, talking about, the streamers and YouTubers, stuff like that. Y'all remember back in, golden days of Modern Warfare 2. You understand how it was almost like a drug deal for you to hear about a glitch? You had to know somebody who knew somebody.
You would get a party invite really and they'd be like, hey, don't tell nobody, but you jump on this and you got like 15 folks that know a total in a whole month.
Exactly, bro. It was like finding the holy grail if someone put you on some games or on some kind of glitch in a game. And it would take months before people really caught on to it and started using it before it get rampant. I give you a week now. Your favorite YouTuber gonna be like, hey, I ain't tell you this, but I'm also telling the same word the whole time. Hey, this is how you gonna do this groundbreaking thing that's going to completely nullify the whole game. And they take no responsibility for it. And then if the game goes to crap, they just jump ship and go to whatever is paying numbers next.
Yep. And a lot of them, they sit up here and blame the developer for something that they helped push out. Like, they sit up here and they want to blame, let's say you got COD people. Like, you had a lot of COD people where they sat up here and they told these developers what they believed that everybody wanted in the game. And when the game went to trash, they sit up here talking trash to the developer like, we told you to do this, but we didn't tell you to do it like this. And now you're sitting up here, you blaming the developer, then you blaming your community, and now everybody is just off the game. And it's making the gaming community so much more toxic. And yes, I know everybody is better. I'm like this, right? Everybody want to be the next FaZe, bro. Look, I understand being good at the game. I'll be fairly decent at the games I be playing, but bro, the first thing in gaming is to have fun, man. Don't sit up here and you sitting up here, you itching like a fiend trying to prove that you the best player in the lobby, bro. If you good, it's gonna reflect.
I'm just saying, boy, look, everybody out here trying to be the super gremlin sitting on the bucket, man. It ain't that serious. Like I said, I understand you trying to be the.
That was the third people I thought Boost was gonna say. I thought he was gonna say we got the S buckets. I'm from a Battlefield background, so them S buckets. That what the game was. They like.
Yeah, them level 100 kernels out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like I said, that's all good points. But I think we're actually starting to run a little low on time. So anybody have any final remarks they want to leave with the people?
Give me more co-op games. Rockstar, if you listen to this, I want Midnight Club Tokyo in the next 2 years. Next 2. That's all right.
Alright, I'm gonna dish out my rewards here. I second the notion of my brother Jay. I need that Midnight Club. It ain't even gotta be Tokyo. It could be. Look, you could give me a new Midnight Club Dub Edition remix with the same track list, but I just need you to update them visuals, baby, and we good. And also to all the gamers listening to the podcast, try to have fun first. Don't sit up here and try to be like the most hardcore streamer. Enjoy the game.
Yeah, my only point I got is, as gamers, we have to understand how much power we have to dictate the products that's released to us. Yes, we don't have to like everything that's released, but we also don't have to settle for everything that's given to us. Trust me, when it comes to these people who are making these games, their bottom line is what counts. There's only a few studios out there that actually are really caring about releasing a good product without extra monetary compensation on top of that. So, if you don't like something, step away from your game. I know that's hard to hear, but I promise you, let COD and Activision see their numbers going down for the next COD because people don't liking what's going on. I promise you they're going to change. I promise you that. So, remember, just understand that, we are community and we may not all agree. But again, we have more say in what's given to us than we think. That's all I want to leave you with. And on that note, we'll be wrapping up this week's episode. It's been a pleasure chilling with y'all, and we hope to have you back next week. As always, stay chill, stay real, and stay RTFG.